those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover the astrology. We connect in with Twin Flame Path, and I do coaching during the month. Now, very separately with Twin Flame videos, I have got one up at the moment, and that is for this week, moving through the weekend, moving through. I will again do another update, and if I feel the energy calling me, I tend to come to you guys more live more often. We also have the Members Hub, which does have the coaching sessions, and if there's something really at a private nature you want to speak about, it's very affordable, and it's a monthly fee, and you can disconnect from it at any point. So if you do feel like a little bit of coaching and want to ask a private question, it's pretty much the same fee as a super chat question. So come through and join. Now let's get into the energy of what's coming through for you guys. Sagittarius. Now, number one, you are going through a transformative state, and it is due to the fact that we have the South Node in your zodiac sign, and currently the Aquarius energy is a total different demeanor in which you are exhibiting in a Jupiter nature. So because we have both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, during that Mercury retrograde, it was giving you a 101 of the new version of who you're going to be, who you're turning into, and what those circumstances are. Let's have a look at your chart. Where are we on the board? So glary. There you are. Okay. The way you're communicating, you're really putting your money where your mouth is. Your daily actions, the way you're speaking, you could be, and the funny thing is, although it's third house, it's the steps you're taking in life to bring that new version of you forward. And you may feel extremely busy. Hi, Dale. So, from the domain of third house, there can be changes happening with your car. There could be technology you're updating. But very separately, I'm feeling it's more your communication style. You're actually speaking more authentically. You may be, and it's funny because I see it over speaking, it's thinking. And I don't know what, probably because it's third house. So from a psychological point of view, I think you're more, because you're wanting this growth in your life with your career, with your love, with the people around you, with problem solving. It's a very different Sagittarius that's coming through at the moment. It might have been a bit testing last month. So yes, you might have got a little bit of verbal diarrhea, got cross with people, but that should ease up as we move towards the 12th and the 13th. And that's due to the fact we will have Mercury out of shadow, so crosswise in communication for you may ease up. And you may find that the growth in that sector and the movement and the steps you take will be eased. What do I mean by that? Less adversity, less feeling like you're carrying a wheelbarrow up a hill, and more towards you are actually able to take those direct steps in the direction you're wishing to without, crosswise, misinformation, and having to really double handle. And I mean, although it was Mercury retrograde, which we have 3 times a year, the next one's going to be in the house of Gemini, which will be more mid-year. I'm finding that for you guys, with that communication energy, it should ease up. Now, crosswise and things to that degree during this time, because we had the full moon in Virgo, for you guys, Sagittarius, Virgo relates to the way you're showing up. And, you're going through a very unique transit because for you, the North Node is Gemini, but it is your relationship sector. And, with that factor, any of your contracts, if it's been quite tedious, any of your partnerships, spiritual connections, twin flame journey, soulmate energy, friends, family, you may just feel like you want to go into hermit mode. But it may not be able to do such. And that's generally because Mercury is really pushing us. All these things are coming at us and we're addressing them. And it was the first one in history, so to speak, because both Jupiter and Saturn are together in the sky. And it is approximately for 6 months, where later it will retrograde into Pisces. So for you spiritually, you can find it was very testing. You also may have found that your connections were a little bit testing too, and it might have pushed you into fair-based frequency. Other times it might have been almost like the layman's term, sod it, can't do this, it's too hard. But I feel your old Sagittarian nature is developing as such, and you're being very firm with yourself. It's almost like you're challenging yourself to try something different. Try different tactics, look at different people's approaches, and definitely could be turning over a new leaf with those circumstances. Now, success can start coming in those areas where you experienced adversity, but it's still going to be pretty fast paced, and you may actually want to be more social. You may want to, tie up those loose ends, want to be spending time with people that are on that same wavelengths as you. And it's funny because we have Gemini, which is very Mercury in your romance house. And it's looking at it and saying, okay, does this resonate with me? Are the needs of this person in alignment with who you are? Am I understanding what that person's wanting? Am I listening? Am I understanding that on both of those circumstances, there's two different languages being spoken? And that's because in love, we have the languages of love. So it's not necessarily that the person isn't showing you love, but usually we tend to show a person love of what we believe and understand love is. So, a parent, for instance, may say, hey, I love you because I put bread and water on the table. Another person may think that love is a hug. So those languages of love are quite crucial, and sometimes they can get lost in translation. Now, I'm seeing that to be clearing up, and it can be quite a romantic 2 weeks for some. Others, it can be the psychology we're tapping into of our mental well-being, what's working for us, what needs to shift around in our life. And we're well advised to adhere to that. If you have had something on your mind that's been really strong and you know that it needs to be changed, this really is the month to make that shift. And that's due to the fact next month we're going to be having Mars by the 23rd transit into Cancer, and it can be quite a gnarly placement. So if something doesn't resonate with you and you're not shifting it around to get it to a more manageable level, even taking little steps, worst case scenario, do such after the 13th. And I'm not saying you can't take steps at the moment, but you'll find it'll be easier after the 13th. But nevertheless, don't feel that because we're in shadow you can't take those steps. You will see that forward momentum, but definitely the tension energy should reduce and you'll be able to achieve more of those goals inside your life. Number 1, home might have been a point that, like I said, you're really wanting to go into hermit mode. You're wanting to be able to have a bit of sleep. You might feel more sleepy lately, wanting to get into guided meditation, planning dreams. Some of you are actually moving. Some of you are thinking about changing something in the home domain, but you need to have a room for calm, okay? So, be it you're single, coupled, or in between, you need to have some space to take time. And when we say meditation, there's various stages of meditation, which I will actually do videos based on. One is which there's no white noise and there's pure bliss and calm. And that's so you can hear your thoughts. Another is no white noise. I don't want to hear anything at all. And it's so your body in the nervous system energy can get grounded. The other is guided meditation to get you into a lulled state, which is a healthier way than potentially the Taurus energy, which we'll look at that in the chart, which does relate to your 6th house. So I'm starting to know these charts quite well. Now, number 1, from pretty much, January through February, hi, sweet. I'm glad she is. I was wondering about that. Yeah, well, she messaged me in an inbox, and I'm friends with her on Facebook as well. We talk socially. I know she's all right. Us Libras have got health-related dynamics. I'm telling you, we're soul sisters, us two. And she's got the comedy as well. I love that about her. We both have that comedy nutty side. She's got twins inside her. I love it. Classic. Beautiful. Deb has had 2 stints put on her, so she's got twins now. Love and light Deb. She'll laugh at me later. She'll be like, YILDIZ. Anyway, so you guys at the moment, Sag, have got, you had Taurus in your 6th house. Now, what's the 6th house? The 6th house is all to do with your health, your well-being, very similar to Libra. We've got Pisces there. So, your diet, your health, your nutrition, getting things done. Sometimes feeling overburdened, creating healthy boundaries with individuals, circumstances relating to pets, costs relating to it. Sometimes the axis between the second house and the sixth house make conversational pieces. What do I mean by that? Your responsibilities in your life could potentially stress you out to the point it could cause health issues. So overburdening yourself, very Saturn and Aquarius, could complicate things, and you need to create healthy boundaries in a verbal sense. Look, I really wish I could do such, but I can't. Taking time out. Sorry, please don't take me personal. I need to, I'm really run down right now. Can't come into work. So whatever that be that your body is telling you, and addressing it and looking after yourself. Now, sixth house placement can be also expenses, self-worth, energy. It might be diet, utilization of pacifiers. So, gee, you need to have a drink, something to that degree, or eating on the run. Don't really want to eat anything heavy. I'll just grab a pack of crisps or grab, some biscuits. So I do find with the sixth house that is, an aspect, and especially when we had Mars transiting Taurus. A lot of us were on and off food, but going for the candy jar, going for something that was theoretically light but heavy on the hips, and it may have caused ailments. This can be excessive smoking, drinking, just anything to keep the stress levels down. And it's almost like the inner child energy and the lethargy, and I always call it like a leaky sacral chakra and solar plexus, that you'll become fatigued. You won't have the motivation. During retrogrades, those things do tend to happen. I've noticed in a chakra orientation, I can kind of, pick the chakras. So if that has been there and you're trying to do too much because you've got Capricorn in the second, owning your responsibilities, adhering to those financial obligations, and it's taken a toll, money should start to come back in again, but definitely pay attention to home. If you guys are needing to move home, you have an opportunity pretty much this month. Now, you'll have to keep quite organised, and it's kind of good because at the moment we do have Mars and Gemini, which does mean signing of contracts can be quite beneficial because it is the North Node, if that's what you're needing to do, but you're going to have to keep on it. Even though we're in the shadow phase, just make sure you read the contracts and the paperwork. Some of you also may be changing things and looking at your environment, having more spiritual conversations with kin and family and things to that degree. But again, you're going to need to moderate yourself so that you can actually have the balance between, work hard, play hard's all good and well. But, for your energy to get the best out of your chakra system, look at yourself as a chariot, and it's really making sure, it's funny because I was just thinking of Sula, and it's making sure those spindles are working like the chariot, that, when they are off center, you'll get lack. When you're triggered, it's a purgatory effect, but it's a vibration, and getting back into vibration alignment means just focus on this one moment. You're not then triggered from the past or the future. You're coming back to this one moment, and you'll actually get betterment out of your chakras there, where it won't decrease it even further with triggers. Okay, relationships, number one, can be coming up, and there can be more movement there, and you could be quite social. Some of you may hear from a romantic interest, and some of those things can ease up as we move forward. You do need to, however, address if you are in an unhappy relationship, pre-warned, forearmed. You may actually have cracks in the system in April if you don't address the devil in the detail. So if you find you're overburdened and you're not handling things, or you're having feelings to do with things, air that dirty laundry in a healthy fashion and address those things head on. You also may have a circumstance relating to some of you, like a one income house, due to the fact the 8th house placement's there. And they're also, for those of you that have pets, save a bit of money aside for next month. You may have some expenses relating to pets. Some of you may get a new pet next month. Anything else I can see in your house? So let's have a squiz. So I think I've got 2 more. I don't know, probably not 2 more. Probably more like 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 more. I have the water signs next. I'm like, you'll just be busy over the weekend. Yeah, with Mercury coming in, that Mercury energy, again, we've got Mars and Mercury now, so you'll find they will start eating. a bit more, but you know, it can go off. Virgo is a very healing nature, but our brain becomes overactive. So we've got the North Node in Gemini, we've got Mercury direct in Aquarius, so hustle and bustle. You will have to be with pets at the moment in astrology. Let me have a look. Yeah, they're affected by the Virgo energy. So, number one, at a collective level, pets with a Virgo moon, a Virgo sun, can become a little bit more agitated, but it'll be environmental. So, for you, if you're a Sagittarius, for instance, pets environmentally, you know, they may become more fussy on food because Mars and Taurus was there, so they might have been very like, okay, this is my routine. But I'm finding it's more so the agitation factor is due to Uranus and Taurus. So as that moves away and we get Mercury going direct, then nervous system energy will be less and they'll be more rested. And even my cat's done such. Yeah, no. Now, if you're needing a booking, the link is below. I have the weekend open at the moment, unless it fills up chockers, you know. Yeah, it's first in, best dressed, so to speak. And the next week is already filling up. So I think I've got evening spaces. More morning spaces may come up depending on how things go. But I will be starting the romance reads, which won't be launched for a bit. I'll give you the launch date, but they'll be towards the end of the month, and that'll be for romance and extension. Otherwise, it'll be weekly updates, moon energies. And I'll see you when I see you, you know. Okay, I shall love you and leave you. I'm going to have a mini break, and I'll get on to Cancer.